Sure enough, what they found inside, it was beyond anything that they expected. This is the murder of 31-year-old Paxton Wallace, a woman that her family described as just pure sunshine. And the man accused of killing her in one of the most horrifying ways imaginable was her own boyfriend, 47-year-old Jeffrey Rail. Now, here's how the nightmare unfolded. When the officers got inside the home, Paxton was found, quote, chopped up with catastrophic injuries that had been caused by a chainsaw. The reports say that she was so severely injured that she was completely unrecognizable. She also had what investigators described as, quote, cutting type injuries all over her body. And Jeffrey? He was standing right there. He was holding a hammer and a cross, almost like he was in the middle of some kind of like exorcism or ritual or sacrifice, like very, very eerie. Meanwhile, this blood-soaked chainsaw just sat there in the kitchen just a few feet away. So police obviously arrested him on the spot. He was later booked into the county jail, and he's currently being held on a $1 million bond for the charge of first-degree murder. But before I go any further, I do want to talk about Paxton for a moment, because she obviously deserves way more than to be defined by what happened to her. But let's talk about Paxton. As I mentioned, she was just 31 years old, and she was deeply rooted in her faith. She also loved her 2 dogs. She was the person who never missed Sunday breakfast with her family. And, as cliche as it sounds, her family says that she lit up every room that she walked into. So this entire situation, as you can imagine, has left them absolutely stunned. I mean, the brutality of it, the senselessness of it, the sheer disconnect between who she was and what she endured in those final moments, it has just shaken everyone who has heard about it.
She was really strong. She did everything with grace and humility.
If she wasn't old, she wasn't sick. Somebody chose to end her life. Somebody chose to take her from us.
Paxton Wallace was just 31 years old when she was brutally murdered in her home. According to Phoenix police, her longtime boyfriend, 47-year-old Jeffrey Rael, confessed to the crime.
Just wild. I mean, we've spent holidays with him. We've shared our home with him for multiple years.
Paxton's sister, Alita, and her aunt Tiffany say they never saw this coming.
This will just be generational pain that you can't soothe.
Now, as the investigators kept digging, they learned something that made this whole thing even more heartbreaking, if you can imagine. Paxton had been trying to get out of this relationship. Her sister Tiffany told reporters, quote, she was trying to get out. She was trying to reach for help. No one wants to admit someone who says, I love you, is actually hurting them. Which that last line, I think it will hit hard for a lot of people who are listening, because it is something that so many victims struggle with. You never do want to admit somebody who tells you that they love you is the one person who's hurting you. But Tiffany also had said that Paxton had reached out to different domestic services, but unfortunately the wait lists were all too long. So she was trying to get help. She was trying to leave this situation. She knew that it was dangerous, and she was doing everything that survivors are told they should do. Yet she still did not get the protection that she needed in time. Court documents also revealed more of what Jeffrey had told dispatchers that night. He claimed that Paxton was, quote, in demon mode, and that killing her was the only way to stop it. Those, again, were his exact words. Now, the scene of the crime, I know I described it and it was a bloodbath, but it was so violent that the officer said that they needed confirmation before they could even identify Paxton. And there's also something that reporters had pointed out that really does matter in the bigger picture of everything. While violent crime overall has been trending down in the Phoenix area, domestic-related cases have been rising. And Paxton's murder, it really does fit into that growing, troubling pattern of domestic disputes turning violent and it being on the rise. Paxton's family has been very clear about one thing during all of this. They want people to recognize the signs. They want them to take those signs seriously, and they want people to understand just how quickly things can turn when someone is trying to get out of an unsafe situation. They've said it over and over and over again. Paxton was trying. She was reaching out. She was asking for help. She deserved safety. She wanted safety, and she deserved protection. I mean, she deserved so much more than the way that her life was taken. And it's so sad when you think about it, because I can't think of the statistic exactly when it comes to mind. I know I think